So this week what we're going to do is we're going to be jumping into something a little bit different than I normally do. This week we're going to be covering what I think is the top 5 upcoming MMOs, as we've been stuck with the same MMOs dominating the MMO space for the last 10 years. But within the next couple of years we've a lot of exciting MMOs to talk about and that are going to be releasing. But without rambling on anymore, I'm going to just jump right into the video. So first and foremost, the MMO I'm most excited for right now is ArcheAge Chronicles, and I know to a lot of people looking at the channel and my mass coverage of Ash's creation, you would probably think Ash's creation is it, but it's actually ArcheAge Chronicles, which Ash's was based off and massively inspired by. In my opinion, the original ArcheAge had the potential to be one of the greatest MMOs ever, until pay-to-win elements were introduced, which ultimately killed the experience for many players, myself included. Now, ArcheAge Chronicles is shaping up to be a fresh take on the classic formula, set in the same universe but 50 years later, which I actually think is massively beneficial to us, and it kind of gives a nice fresh start without swaying too much away from the lore and world. It brings a brand new storyline as well as more polished systems, while hopefully steering clear of the monetization pitfalls that doomed its predecessor, and I do think from what I've seen they're probably learning from that and it seems to be going in the right direction. Now, the game is being developed in Unreal Engine 5 by XL Games and published by Cacao Games. This time it features action combat and will be available not only on PC but on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Now, like the original, ArcheAge Chronicles promises sandbox features like open world PvP, deep crafting, trade runs and even naval combat. One notable change is housing though. Rather than being placed in an open world, it will now exist in instant housing zones, which could make land access fairer for everyone. I don't actually think it's a bad idea on face value. Once they explain more about this, I'm sure we'll, kind of see if it's for us or not, and we can give accurate feedback during testing. Internal testing is expected to begin in Q3 of this year, with a target release window in the first half of 2026. The game will follow a buy-to-play model with microtransactions, but the team has stated they're avoiding pay-to-win mechanics this time around. However, we're going to have to wait and see if they actually follow through with that, but it does look extremely promising so far. Now, if you want to dive deeper in ArcheAge Chronicles, I've got a full video on it and the link will be in the description below. I would definitely check it out because there's a lot more to be talked about and a lot more information that I can kind of summarize in this little paragraph, and I will say it is looking exceptional, and I don't believe the pay to win is going to be that heavy. I think they know they had a diamond in the rough. As well as that, if you look at ArcheAge Classic and ArcheAge, they are still popping off to this day, so the player base is still there. People still want this game, and I think they realized they really dropped the ball on this one, and this time they have been a lot more cautious. But for me, that is the one I'm most looking forward to, and I think has the most potential to be a top 5 or 10 MMO long term, but only time will tell. So Chrono Odyssey is the next game on my list, and it is a next generation action MMORPG built in Unreal Engine 5 and set in a dark fantasy world of Satera. Players wield a powerful artifact called the Chrono Tector, granting them the ability to manipulate time both in combat and exploration. The game features fast-paced tactical action combat reminiscent of titles like Black Desert and Elden Ring, with real-time dodge and block and countering and mid-combat weapon swapping. The game emphasises on exploration, world events and large-scale PvE, while also supporting PvP elements. Now, a closed beta ran at the end of June on Steam, showcasing early classes and systems, and I really enjoyed my time playing it despite what some of the larger content creators made out of this game. It definitely has some serious potential and good groundwork to work off, with the build we tested being 6 to 8 months old. I can imagine a lot of changes and improvements have already been made. The developers are aiming for a late 2025 launch with a buy-to-play model and a strong stance against pay-to-win monetization, but we'll have to see if they stick to that. But it does look yet again like ArcheAge. The Korean developers are actually understanding the potential with the Western audience and longevity. There is such a gap in the market. I really believe they can monopolize on this, and that's why it's given me more faith than I've ever had before. If you want more information or a deeper look at Chrono Odyssey, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, as I do have videos on Chrono Odyssey with a lot more details. This is just a quick summary. The third game on the list that is not generating as much noise as the rest, but really does have some great potential, and that game is Bellatores. It's another Unreal Engine 5 MMO, and Bellatores is an upcoming PC exclusive open world MMORPG developed by South Korea's NU. Bellatores is set in a medieval fantasy realm where 5 noble houses fight for power in a kingdom ravaged by political turmoil. The game abandons traditional classes and levels, instead offering a mastery based progression system. Use a weapon or crafting skill and you gain proficiency and unlock related abilities. Yet again, this is another action combat game, or as they call it, non-targeting action, and will again feature dodging, stamina management and weapon swapping. This however appears to be a more PvP focused MMO if that's what you're looking for, which for me is great as I do enjoy PvP within my MMOs. Gameplay focuses on realm vs realm PvP with siege warfare and territory control similar to Albion Online. However, those who are more PvE focused are not forgot about in Bellatores, as it also features large scale PvE including world bosses and giant monsters that affect the environment until the players join together to defeat them. Crafting and gathering are part of a player driven economy, and these are all core systems. Crafted gear replaces loot drops, and there will be no loot drops at all in the game. Everything is crafted, and item stats scale with the crafter's mastery. And the Korean CBT was scheduled on Steam for July the 30th to August the 3rd. Full release is currently targeted for 2026, with NU still looking for a Western publisher. And if you want a much more in-depth look at Bellatores, I do have a video there too, so do check that out. A lot of information there, a lot of deep diving into the back of the scenes, the funding and anything people are worried about. I do think this is a good contender, but it definitely is a specific type of MMO and we do need to know more, but it's looking quite promising. This next one definitely does not fit the pattern, but for anyone that has been following the channel for a long time, it definitely makes sense, and that MMO is Ark 2. Now, Ark 2 is a highly anticipated sequel to Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended, developed by Studio Wildcard with co-dev Grove Street Games, using Unreal Engine 5 to deliver a truly next-gen experience, with them currently using Ark Survival Ascended to test the new systems. Now, I kind of bought that from the get-go, and it is now clear as day they are doing that, and it's looking really promising. The game's going to be set on the alien planet Adet, picking up where Genesis Part 2 left off and ended. Combat and traversal have been overhauled into a Souls-like action system, offering target lock, dodge and block and combo staggers and skill-based encounters. Movement is no longer just running and jumping, expect mantling, free climbing, parkour, sliding, swinging and more. The world is alive and reactive. AI-driven dinos hunt by sight, sound and smell, and dynamic world events like migratory stampedes and endangered creature rescues occur independently, rewarding player engagement. Crafting and building are being pushed further than ever and have a modular crafting system. Crafting and building are being pushed further than ever before and have a modular crafting system which allows millions of permutations in weapons and tools, so basically combinations, with materials affecting aesthetics and stats. Building features have been redesigned with improved rendering, network streaming and shareable base templates that is currently also in Ark Survival Ascended. It's launching on both Xbox and PC, however there's no official date, and if you're someone that has followed Ark in the past, you'll know the release date they'll give is going to be delayed by a year. I would honestly say this one's about 2 to 3 years out in my honest opinion, but I do think this is going to be one of the biggest games to drop as long as they keep that MMO vibe. But I'm putting it on the back burner for now and we'll see how things play out, but for sure when we get more details I will update it on the channel. So Ashes of Creation is the last game on the top 5 upcoming MMOs, and it was the one that I've kept moving on and off the list just due to some issues I've found while testing the game. Ashes of Creation is a highly ambitious sandbox MMORPG by Intrepid Studios that is funded through a Kickstarter and a sale of early access packages. Ashes of Creation is built in Unreal Engine 5 and takes place on the world of Veda. Its main features is the node system, which is still in development. Nodes are regions that grow from camps and towns to cities based on players' contribution, shaping the world events, quests, PvP and PvE activity in real time. Ashes of Creation features a hybrid system that mixes tab and action combat, and there are 8 archetypes that are going to be in the game. You'll be able to choose a secondary archetype at level 25, leading to what they would be calling 64 unique classes. Everything in the game is meant to be player driven, from the economics to the crafting. This game is about to head into its 3rd phase in alpha testing on the 4th of August, which has been delayed from May. But as for an official release date, there's not been an official announcement, with phase 3 expected spending the last year, if not longer. ArcheAge creation does feature heavily on my channel, so if you want a deeper look into the game, check out some of my old videos or keep an eye as we jump into phase 3, as I'll be covering it all. So that's my top 5 MMOs you should keep an eye on, in my honest opinion. There's a lot to be excited about when it comes to the MMO genre. It isn't totally dead, it's just a bit stale at the minute, but also a lot to watch closely as these games develop, and as we all know, the game can sound promising but end up failing due to pay to win, lack of support, and sometimes the game's doing a 180 in the middle of the development, just like New Worlds and multiple others, which inevitably leads to piles of shit. Hopefully this doesn't happen, and from the games above, they actually do seem to be standing the course that they've set out for themselves and digging in. If you want a deeper dive in any of these, I've got full videos on most of them. Links, as I said below, are going to be in the description. And of course, if you're hyped for any of these, or maybe you have different MMOs on your mind, drop it in the comment section down below, because obviously I'm not the master of all MMOs and indie MMOs. There's definitely some that'll slip through that maybe should have been on here. I wish ZeniMax's new MMO was on here, but we'll never see that, unfortunately. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know if you think I've ranked these right. Let me know what you guys actually think. But as always, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Do subscribe to the video, much more content coming, and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of my future MMO content or videos in general. I appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.